to decide what school your kids will have to go to. There are many schools out there, but there are only two main ones, private and public. Now, when you hear private school, you may be a little bit scared because uniforms, more strict rules, teachers actually making you work harder on your assignments. I know, it's scary, but it's not terrible. While public schools, they're more lenient. They let you kind of wear appropriate amount of clothing and not that much strict rules, but there are some problems with that, along with difference in tuition. Private school may possibly charge you, let's say $5,000 to attend each year, while public school, they don't really have any fees. They don't really charge you to be there, but they make you pay for like parking passes at school or lunches. Activities wise, there's more. You're going to see a lot more groups and activities and clubs and sports options at public schools, while at private schools there's only going to be mainly just football, basketball, volleyball, softball, baseball, or arts, art club, book club, or the generic clubs you would see. Also, dress code. Like I said, just plain normal clothes you would see at a public high school, while in private school, you'll mainly see them with uniforms with the logo of the school. In public schools is mainly being paid by the taxpayers' dollars. So, which that means is that they are able to get all their supplies for free. So books are given to them, but when they damage their books, that's when they have to pay the school district for damages that they did, or they lost a book. So then it's kind of, oh, since you lost this book, you have to give us back. You have to pay us how much it was so we can replace it, essentially. Along with this is that they are able to have laptops that they are able to give out, and mainly you see this in middle schools and high schools is where they have they give out laptops for students to be able to use their homework for homework purposes only, and you have an option by the end of the year to. In some schools, you have an option at the end of the year to be able to pay for the laptop so that you can keep it as your own, or you would have to give it back to them if, let's say, you damaged it, and then you would have to pay them back some money to repair it. The tuition in private schools covers the majority of expenses you would have to pay for in public school. So so for example, when I was in school, we had to pay. We had to pay about maybe $5,000 a year because due to our financial situation, our school was able to work it out, make everything work out to where we're able to pay enough for me and my brother to also be able to go there, and so that mainly just covered admissions to all sports games, so we were able to go there for free, being able to all our books were paid for, so whatever we use in the schools, we didn't have to pay for it. Being able to have field trips and then also be able to participate in sports activities. But though there was extra expenses when it came to that because you had to pay for maybe, let's say, your own gear or other things that were in the club. The administration is able to help you plan with financial planning, and so they're able to work around whatever your financial status is with your family. And so at my school, we would have work study where you would just go around before school or after school, just cleaning classrooms, doing just maintenance, just cleaning, tidying up rooms before school. Some cases, like in mine, I was able to become a teacher's assistant in the office. So I would just during my study halls, I would go help the front desk giving out notes to people, or making sure people were getting tardy slips written up, phone calls were being answered when they were at the office. Now this is a quote from Walker, and he was doing a little bit of a study. He was doing a study on on tuition costs for different schools, and research on private schools in the area, was doing a study on Mater Dei, which is a California private school in Orange County, is approximately $4,300,000 per year. And whatever. 4,300. This may seem costly for some parents, but the school promises a co-education environment dedicated to the development of mature, well-rounded individuals. But many parents are willing to part with such a large sum of money for a comprehensive college preparatory curriculum, including a wide variety of services and social programs, which prepares today's youth for tomorrow's world. And that is by Waker. So you are paying $4,300 a year for your kids to be able to get the best education and learning how to be more prepared for college, so that when you go in, you're able to learn how to type out essays and know how to do certain formats, and also know how to on the screen you see activities that I was a part of and that we had at school. At my school, we had Pride Acapella, which is mainly just a small group of students that were handpicked by our music teacher. People would try out, and only a certain few people would try out, and then you would be able to just have opportunities like singing for the mass
Shut-ins.
So we would record for the mass for shut-ins. So when it was for people who couldn't really go out for church, they would be able to watch a mass at home on KETV, and then you would have music provided by people who would for Pride Acapella, who would be singing the songs. Now the difference between public school with this is that public school has many, many, many different classes and clubs for it. Like they have performance band. They have performance band, which rather than our school, we had a small little band combined with xylophones, guitars, drums, people playing flutes or trumpets or trombones, or sometimes one person maybe playing the violin. It wasn't all organized. It was very just whoever was able to play something was able to play something. While in public schools, they have much more funding, so they're able to provide students with any kind of instrument that you have. They would be able to give it to you, and then for a semester you'd be able to perform in concert band. Just like at our school, we had concerts, but for them it was an ongoing thing. They would always have concerts for every so months or so. They would perform a concert in front of the school, or concerts that is like for extra activities after school. And then for plays and musicals, when I was in school, I was in plays and musicals, and they were both separate. They were both separate groups because musicals were mainly in the springtime, and plays were for the fall. And and we would only do one play and one musical. Now in public schools, like I said before, they have much more funding because it's being paid by taxpayers. They're able to have much bigger sets of black box theater where they're able to perform these really nice shows and have these awesome lights and sounds. While my school only had just a wooden stage where there was little side doors that were only covered by curtains. So for them, our practice area would be our stage where we would also have our masses, but for public school, they would be able to have big, massive rooms where they are able to work out lines, scripts, and be able to act out scenes rather than being in one certain place. For school, when it comes to sports. So in public schools, you would see a lot of people have a lacrosse team, they would have a track team, tennis team, softball team, wrestling team, baseball team, hockey team, or They would also have a cricket team, maybe. Not likely, but maybe. While in private schools, there weren't really a lot because there was sports we had to kind of take off. Some people would have to go to different schools. Like one girl who I went to school with had to go to Duchenne to play softball because we didn't have enough girls who wanted to play softball for our team. So they would play at Duchenne while other people in public school, they're able to have they have a much more greater group of people who would want to be playing softball more than people in private schools. Now, this may be shocking to you all, but dress code is not that bad of a thing. Because if you think about it, dress code is more of you have to follow a strict guideline of making sure whatever you're wearing is appropriate or not showing too much of anything, or mainly for being able to follow a set of rules and guidelines that you have to wear to make sure you're not distracting other students. And also it gives you a sense of high school, because when you go into the workforce, you're going to have to wear a uniform each day. So in private school, you're just used to wearing almost the same thing every day, which is going to be exactly what you're going to do when you go out to work. Now in public schools, they have more of an open, letting people wear whatever they would want. So in some cases, something like this would be acceptable, but in private schools, showing your shoulders is a little bit excessive because you can see bra straps or also cami straps, and apparently that's a no-no. It's inappropriate. WildWeek.org. It is said there was a situation where in school they were banning certain items of clothing and it was said, quote, female students were asked to not show off body in fear of distracting male students that were constantly looking at bare parts of the body. So in some public schools, they're now allowing people to show their midriffs or be able to have super ripped open jeans where it shows half their whole leg. Now in private school, when I used to go, we were always told we had to wear clothes that had our school symbol. So mine had Roncalli Catholic High School on it, or it'd say Roncalli Catholic and it would have our little mascot on it. Or you were asked to have, a sweater just like this, and you wouldn't have to tuck this in since it was able to go like right over your skirt, so you wouldn't have to tuck this in. You would be allowed. But the main rules were you had to make sure your shirt was tucked in. You also had a belt on and make sure you had socks that were seen, but you weren't allowed to have mainly colorful socks because colorful socks are distracting. And now as you see here, you see public school kids having more of an open idea to be able to wear whatever they want. They can wear dresses, they can wear shorts, they can practically wear whatever they want that makes them feel, comfortable in school. While in this case, in this school, they all have to wear the same exact shoes, same color of socks, long skirts that go past their knees, blazers and shorts, or sometimes the males have to wear like knee-high socks and make sure their hair is all well kept and have their pros and cons. In public school cases, if you really like being able to meet more people and be more active in groups and be able to join and be able to want to be able to participate more with a lot of your classmates, it's the best option. But in some cases, public school isn't giving you the right skills or learning habits for you to be able to succeed in college. So that is why many people will be able to spend over thousands of dollars to go to private school, because there, yes, it may seem bad that you have to wear a uniform every day and you have to follow these rules and make sure you're following all the rules and participating in class, so then you can get that credit. But it's giving you skills that would be able to help you in the long run when you're out in the real world, when when you're out in the real world.